Let's talk a little bit about ways that we can all be nurturing ourselves, especially women who very often are the caregivers of families.
Exactly. I mean, you said it all, really, right? Like, it is about honoring that aspect of ourselves, especially the part of us who was denied, right? I mean, we talk about the little girl, and when we think about our community, especially for Black women, we're adultified at an early age. We are also expected to do a lot at a young age. Many of us had to caretake for our siblings, look after family members, assume responsibility, sometimes financial responsibility to look after family members. So a lot of us have carried the responsibility, the burden, even though it's one that we would carry with grace. But we still carry that, right? And that does wear on us, that we have the responsibility to look after everyone and their needs. And there's also been this sort of ancestral, I would say, burden that's placed upon all of us where we feel like everyone's needs come for our own. And so we have to train ourselves out of that and really change the legacy as we move forward to teach not only ourselves and unlearn what we taught, unlearn what we were taught, but also for the next generation that's coming up behind us so that they can move differently, so they can embrace self-care differently and understand that we come from a legacy of people who could not take care of themselves. They had to put everyone's needs above their own. They were not able to rest. They were not able to do the things that we can do now. And so really as part of our healing practice and part of the self-care is really connecting to that through line of ancestry and doing what our great-great-great-great-great-grandmothers could not do, right? We can go to the spa now. We can kiki with our friends. We can decide to sleep in. Like, that's a choice, and it's also a necessary one. And so for us to think about the self-care being an act of radical self-reclamation, of love, of tenderness with ourselves, of being soft and supple, and really changing the framing that we have, especially around Black women. The mantra is strong Black woman, right? Like, that's everybody says that about us. But the strength is what's breaking us down. It's us thinking that we're strong. It's everybody else thinking that we're strong that makes it so that we are actually hitting at the top of every list in terms of health outcomes, and we fall between the cracks when it comes for health outcomes, and we certainly see this in the maternal health space. But this means that, like, we're not actually paying attention to ourselves the way that you said you're going to take care of your mother, right? Like, we're not doing that for ourselves. And so part of it is, assessing our needs on a moment-to-moment basis, not just like when you feel broken down, but before then, right, every day checking in. How do I feel today? Does this feel good? Should I do this? What do I need in this moment? Because the real point of this for all of us is really to design a life that we don't have to escape from. You know what I mean? Like, how can we create the life that we want to live, right?
Yes.
And what does that mean, right? So I want us to be living into that, and I want Black women especially to be thinking that that it's something that we actually have control over, and that we can change. And I think right now, especially in this time of quarantine, where we have time to think and reflect and sort of plan for a future, we should start designing what we want it to be like when we can go back outside. Like, how am I going to move differently than I was before when I was super stressed out and working too hard and commuting and whatever? Like, how am I going to start to make sure that I design around my needs